shooting as soon as
Did you box moving target?
No, I took an auto track.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Wow, look at the fly.
As I get within about a half mile of it, it rapidly accelerates to the south in about 2 seconds and disappears. I believe, as do the other folks that were on the flight that when we visually saw it, that it was something not from this world.
Well, UFOs, sightings of them, I've heard about it for years, but this many? The New York Times with a piece, wow, what is that? Navy pilots report unexplained flying objects. The strange objects, one of them like a spinning top moving against the wind, appeared almost daily from the summer of 2014 to March 2015, high in the skies over the East Coast. Navy pilots reported to their superiors that the objects had no visible engine or infrared exhaust plumes, but they could reach 30,000 feet and hypersonic speeds. Back with the panel. Okay, Anna. What do you think?
Not my area of expertise.
Not your area of expertise?
But no, I mean, I think the bigger question to me is the fact that this story comes out and nobody's paying attention to it.
That's what I'm saying.
That is shocking to me that this has not garnered more calls for investigations. People saying no one's trying to debunk these guys. They're saying they're crazy. I mean, there's clearly some there.
There's there. Tom, you had a piece written today, why the UFO story is far more interesting than you think. Why is it?
So I was working on this for a while. I've always been very interested in this phenomenon, but the basic points are that we have seen characteristics from these objects, whatever they are, that suggest intelligent control, adaptive responses in terms of interaction with US naval aviators, British aviators. We have seen technology on these platforms that is far in advance either of the United States. It is not the Americans. I'm extremely confident of that. And if it is not the Americans, it is not the Chinese or Russians, because their developed platforms in operation are far inferior, even on hypersonics where they're pretty good. The basic point is, though, and this is the US government understanding, we don't know what it is. We don't think it's from Earth, but we don't, or any known government on Earth. So we need more analysis. And, you know, I was speaking to Nick Pope earlier today, who's headed up the British government's UFO arm. And he said, look, a lot of these sightings are, you know, things that could be explained. But a lot of them aren't, and these videos aren't explainable, right. So we need more analysis.
Here's reputable people talking about this. Take a listen.
You're talking about individuals who have very high security clearances. They are trained observers. We've actually paid them and put them through schools to be trained and very keen observers, to scrutinize what they're seeing. And they're reporting to us that they're seeing something that they can't explain, and it's also being backed up by the video evidence and the radar data.
Really no distinct wings, no distinct tail, no distinct exhaust plume. It seemed like they were aware of our presence because they would actively move around us.
All right, former CIA analysts, just give us the scoop.
Yeah, I was going to say, despite what people think, Bret, they don't bring us in on day one at Langley and say, JFK assassination and UFOs. Here's everything you have to know. That's actually not how it goes. But to apply a CIA analyst's approach to this, yeah, day two is when they get into the good stuff. To apply an analyst's approach to this, you'd say, okay, well, are these fabricators? Are people making up stories here? Sometimes you get the kind of crazy, kooky people you think they say they're abducted. That's not this, as has been pointed out. These are people with high clearances, government people who have no incentive to lie about it. And then if it's straightforward, if this is just a hashtag science explanation is all we need, well, then what is it? I mean, to Tom's point, sometimes there are explanations, but so far with some of these that we've seen, there aren't explanations. So I would just like to know what the explanations would be.
I just want to play one more. Physics, can physics explain this?
What would you estimate the speed?
Oh, well above supersonic. It like a bullet out of a gun, it took off.
So from what you know about aerodynamics, mechanics, physics, should this be possible, what you saw?
Not with the technology that we have today. Not at all.
That's December 20th, 2017, Tucker's interview with this U.S. Navy commander.
And that commander in another interview has said that he saw something below the water, which some people I've talked to have suggested that might be something, a controlling entity for those things. Regardless, the basic point is that we don't know. But what we know should be enough to continue the investigation with more publicity. A positive note, although ATIP, which was the organization that Luis Elizondo, who was showed there, ran, closed up, the U.S. government still has programs investigating this. So it is still and I've heard Defense Secretary Shanahan is much more amenable to a sort of more open process here than
And
others.
the president could get in the game too.
I would love to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
As soon as possible.
Senator Harry Reid used to be a proponent of more advocacy. John Podesta, the campaign manager for Hillary Clinton, was a big guy about alien.
Yeah, I mean, I remember being on the Hill, and when Harry Reid was pushing this, because he was pushing the funding for it, that it was kind of a joke. Like, people were laughing at him and saying, oh, you know, Harry Reid, but he had the ability to kind of have the power of the purse. And clearly, he's in Nevada now and probably laughing all the way to the fact that he was right on this.
Ted Stevens as well.
Ted Stevens, the late Ted Stevens from Alaska. All right, panel, we did our best, and without a lot of details. We're going to get more out of Buck in the commercial break.
That's right.
When we come back, proof that it's never too late.